Hello and welcome to my brief review of the Arcteryx Ultra 85 men's backpack. This backpack is in a size tall, and as many of you know who have been interested in this backpack, there's not an enormous amount of information yet on the internet regarding this backpack, and I wanted to give some of my ideas and feelings about the pack. I've hiked now about 140-50 miles with this pack over many days, and have been able to develop my feelings regarding how the pack has performed. I have owned a Bora 80 and actually still have a belt for one, so I think this is a good comparison since the Boras are no longer available through Arcteryx. This seems to be the pack that they've gone to in that case, and I want to sort of compare the two as well just a little bit. The Arcteryx Ultra 85, this one weighs in size tall about 2.6 kilos, which is quite a bit lighter than the Bora model was, which I always found just a touch on the heavy side, but of course the Bora had for some certain advantages over the Ultra, like major zippers and just absolutely tough as they get as far as packs go. This pack has 97 liters total capacity if you were to fill it completely to the top, which is quite a bit, and as I'm traveling for a couple weeks at a time with a pack and a tent, this is a good size for me, and so was the Bora 80. This pack here, I think some of the major features on the pack would be, number one, the load transfer disc. This is a completely new design, and I've actually seen nothing like this on any other pack. And to be honest, since I was getting this pack without a lot of previous information from others, I have been a little bit skeptical on exactly how this system works, because the attachment to the pack is very special, and I'd like to show it to you a little bit today. This load transfer disc is connected with a couple stabilizing straps which keep it from, if we tighten them up, keep this and get it real tight, keep it from rotating on the pack, so it gives you a nice stable traditional pack feel. But if you're underway and walking, this is something that I have never experienced on another pack, is that when you loosen these stabilizer straps and you're walking, and I have quite a bit of hip movement myself, that this rotates completely separate from the pack. My fears and some of the things that I read about on the internet was that this hip belt somehow dug into somebody's skin, and that the hip belt squeaked while hiking. And first of all, to answer regarding digging in, I cannot imagine that this hip belt could possibly dig into your skin. I don't know the anatomy, of course, but when this hip belt gets attached firmly to your hips, it is absolutely a part of you, and the pack is not. So the pack rotates completely separately. It's a very odd feeling, but it's an awesome feeling because you have a lot of free movement. So let's go ahead and take this disc system off. I'll set it right here. These two discs connect together. Again, you know, I'm very critical looking at weak points of the disc, and when I first received this pack and went out on my first 7-mile test hike with it, this pack squeaked. Sounded like I had a bird on my shoulder for the first time out. And what I have found is that since this is a very, very hard backing, the sound was transferring into the pack. But my feeling is that the lubricant that is put into this system is a little bit sparse. So what I did was took some of my plastic lubricant from RC World, and simply with a very fine Q-tip went over the surfaces that were touching each other, and it completely eliminated any problem with squeaking on the pack. This pack connects in 4 areas, but it touches its own surfaces in a bunch of different areas. So it's as far as wear and tear, as I said, I've hiked about 100 and and a few miles with this pack over many trips, and I've kept a very, very close eye on this connection system. And I've got to say, since I just lightly put lubricant on all of the surface areas, I'm getting absolutely no wear of the plastic that I can tell in any way, shape, or form. And there is no squeaking on this pack, and it's really, I think probably one of the, well, it is the best carrying system that I've ever tried on a pack. I'm a big fan of some Gregory models as well, and of course the Bora, but this transfer system is really quite awesome and very different. And this belt is very lightweight. Here's for a comparison, by the way, of the Bora 80 belt. As you can see, it's a bit thicker than the Altra belt, and the form is slightly different. This is a little bit more of a curve inside here to fit the hips. And again, once this is attached to your waist, it's like having the pack attached to your body on a swivel, and it's quite nice. The buckle itself, which I also read about and said that the buckles were slipping, and that was a problem that they had to be retightened on a constant basis, is a problem that Arcteryx has dealt with. These belt buckles are from the Bora 80 and 95 models, so I have had zero slippage with this belt system at all. And go ahead and attach this back on here. The shoulder system is the gridlock system, so it allows you to, with the Velcro, simply release, pull it off of the system, and reattach it in any way that you'd like. It holds up quite well, and really, every time I look at where plastic attaches, I get very critical. It's performed wonderfully. The straps are thinner than on the Bora, but I am not really having a lot of weight put on my shoulders with this pack. The hip belt is carrying virtually all of the weight. It's been really quite nice. The pack side, I read on the Ultra 75 that you can't get a water bottle in these wingman pockets. On the 85, it is definitely large enough to carry one of these bottles and zip closed. I won't close it all the way up, but you can get one in there. Got some other stuff in there as well. And so you can carry a bottle in here. But one of the nice things that the 85 offers that the 75 doesn't, in the case of this pack, is the water carrying system is a little bit different. And in the 85, we've got a separate carrying section behind the pack for your water bottle or for your pouch. This is a 3-liter container, and it fits nicely into the pack, so that's quite nice as well. It's nicely centered. The weight is towards your body, so the feelings regarding pouches off to the side is really dealt with well by this pack. The lid does come off. It is not like the Bora 80 lid, which can be turned into a hip belt. What I really wish that Arcteryx had done would be possibly to put one of these discs on the inside of the lid, so you could attach the lid to the belt and carry a day pack like that if you wanted to. Maybe that's something to think about in the future. But very similar to the Bora models and many other packs as well. Looking at the front of the pack, is you've got a large pouch in the front and the main holding area in the pack, which is all in one compartment, not separated in two as was with the Bora models. And under here you've got a lot of attachments. You can put poles nicely tucked into there, and as far as the zippers go, they are certainly not as beefy as the Bora models, but I cannot say that they're weak either. I've had no problems with them. I have this pack pretty stuffed with carrying around about 18 to 20 kilograms inside the pack, and it's holding up very well. So I have nothing negative to say about that. Certainly the Bora zippers were quite a bit heavier but the pack itself was also over a half a kilogram heavier than the Altra 85. Anyway, that is sort of an overview of the pack, and I hope this helps anyone who has interest in the pack or has any other questions regarding the pack.